This is a short pregnancy sequence within which you will need props of 2 blocks and a blanket, rolled up blanket or a bolster or a cushion or pillow or something to sit on. Now we've already warmed up nicely, but now let's take ourselves into a tabletop position. So coming into all fours, placing the hands beneath the shoulders and the knees beneath the hips. Now let's take a moment here to carefully and consciously connect with the earth beneath the hands and beneath the knees and the lower shins and the shins and feet. Spread the fingers of your hands as wide as you can so that you're really maximising the stability of the base that you're providing to your body. Push firmly down through the fingertips and through the palms of the hands. Now let us begin to rock gently backwards and forwards over those wrists, warming up the hips, the knees and the wrists. Now if you have any sensitivity in your knees at all, then feel free, you are more than welcome to take a blanket and place it across the mat so that there's some extra cushioning and extra protection for your knees. As we rock backwards and forwards, feel the wonderful rhythmic movement that you're creating, and try and coordinate your own breath in some way with your movement. You may want to close your eyes and think about the lovely rocking sensation that you're creating for your baby, and think about how that might feel to your baby as it's suspended in the pool in the sack of your womb. Now let's start to begin to come forward a little further and make circular motions by moving the hips and shoulders around. So instead of going backwards and forwards, let's start to make some big juicy circles with the body. You can go as slowly as you like and as far and wide with your circle as feels nice for your body, your joints and your hips. You find where feels good for you and your bump and your baby. Remembering to integrate the breath into the movement. Taking the inhalation, exhalation and making it part of your movement. When you are ready, rotate and change the direction. Go in the opposite direction to loosen up the body, loosen up the joints. Notice if it feels any difference in creating yourself in the opposite direction. Really maximising and making the most of the pleasure in the movement for you. Bring yourself into a still position back in tabletop when you are ready. And we're going to extend the left leg out behind us and create a nice stretch in the length of that left leg. Push firmly away through that heel. Breathing into the stretch. If you wish, you can raise the right arm out in front of you also, if that feels comfortable for your body. Extending out through the right armpit and shoulder, feeling a stretch in both sides of the body. Take 2 more deep breaths here. Seeing whether you can expand a little further with each inhalation. Then return the right hand to the ground and draw the left knee back into tabletop. You may want to rock gently from side to side once you've returned to your starting position. And then we're going to push the right leg back along the floor behind us, which giving a nice stretch, maybe in the back of the right leg, maybe in the hip. Just notice as you rock gently backwards and forwards where you're feeling that stretch inside your body. And again, if you wish to, you can extend the opposite arm, the left arm, out in front of you and really reach into that stretch. Feeling the energy shoot out through the left hand as it flows down your arms and out the fingertips. And feeling the energy float down the leg and all the way out of your heel. One more breath here. And then return the left hand to the ground and draw the right knee back into the body. I'm now going to come up onto the fingertips a little to give yourself a little bit more space, and then bring your left leg and place it in between your hands. We're going to push ourselves up into, or come up into, a warrior 2 position. So lift the back right knee, turn the right foot out, and then sweep the arms up and round so you come up into a warrior 2 position. When you arrive here, lower the arms for a moment, and let's take this opportunity to check in with the bottom half of the body. Have a look at your foot alignment. Is there nice heel to arch alignment between the back and the front foot? Push away through the outside edge of that right foot and really feel the support, strength and stability that you're providing to your lower body and your pelvis. You might want to take a moment here to caress your bump and check in with the baby and feel how it must feel, having moved with you from low down close to the ground and now rising up and being supported by your legs. Notice the strength as it's building within your legs, and once you are very confident in the stability of your base, let's take the arms up and sweep and float them out to the sides. The lower body firmly supporting the waistline, the arms floating down to greet the upper body as you are a beautiful expression of a strong, stable warrior, providing support to yourself and your baby. Turn your gaze over your front hand and look out into the future that you are providing to yourself and your baby. You'll feel the heat and the intensity building in the legs. You have the strength to support this pose. Breathe into the pose. Use the breath. Increase the inhalations and exhalations. Extend the length of the breath. Use the breath to help you maintain the strength, structure and stability of this pose. 3 more breaths here. Now slowly and with grace, straighten that front leg, turn the heel in and bring the hands to the waist so you're in a standing, wide-legged position. Now don't have your blocks in front of you, please go to the mat, go and take them and place them at the side of the mat. So from here, in this wide-legged forward fold, with your hands at your waist, supporting your hips, supporting you and your baby, lift up through the waist and then slowly, carefully and with control, pivot at the hips and bring the hands down to those blocks and pause for a moment. Check in with your waist, your lower back, your body, your legs. Are they all where they should be so it is comfortable for you? Take a few breaths here. Feel the space that you've created in the lower back. Feel the space that you've created for the belly. Now, if you wish to, and it is comfortable for you to do so, you can bring the forehead down to those blocks to rest the head. You can either leave the hands alongside the head on the block or take those hands to the ground. But breathe into the sensations that you're experiencing. You may be experiencing an opening in the hips, or a release and a stretching in the glutes and the backs of the thighs. Push firmly into your feet and breathe into the experience of the stretch. We're going to take 2 more breaths here. Now slowly, ever so slowly, if your hands aren't already on the blocks, take them to the blocks, being mindful of the fact that you're much more likely to become lightheaded in pregnancy. Slowly, ever so slowly, push to your hands and draw your head up just to halfway position. Take a breath here. Take another. And then take the hands to the waist, micro bend in the knees, or even a generous bend in the knees, and begin to stand up, straighten up, and begin to come into an upright position and allow the blood to readjust its position in the body. Release the hands down by the legs and take a moment here. Now turn your right toes out. We're going to come into Warrior Two on the other side. So bend that front knee as generously as feels comfortable to you. Push firmly away into that left outside edge of the foot, same as we did on the other side. Let us take a moment to check the strength and structure and stability of the bottom half of our warrior. And once we have confidence in the strength that we're providing to our lower half, again, we can take a moment to caress the baby and we can sweep those arms gracefully like a beautiful, powerful goddess out to the side. Check in with your own alignment. Notice how this feels in your hips, your waist, your back, your arms, your shoulders. Are there any adjustments that you would like to make that will bring a greater sense of comfort and ease to you whilst you're strongly maintaining this posture? I'm aware of the sensations that will be building in the legs, but the same determination that you can find to breathe into this pose is that determination that will serve you well during your labouring process. Breathe deeply. Can you go any deeper? Are there any adjustments that you can make to maintain this pose? We're going to take 3 more breaths here. Know and be aware that you can make subtle adjustments in any stage, at any point in life, to increase your comfort and to improve your strength. straighten that front leg, turn the toes to the side of the mat once again, and hinge at the waist and come into forward fold. This time we'll take the head straight down to the box. And take a few nourishing breaths here, taking vital life force and energy into your body and into that of your baby. Now, again, taking great care not to rush the transition and coming back up. Push up onto the hands, come to halfway, take a moment there, and take the hands to the hips, generous bend in the knees, and come up into a standing position. Now from here, we're going to move into our beautiful goddess pose. So with the heels turned out at a 45-degree angle, we're going to bend in the knees, taking that pelvis towards the ground, opening the pelvis up, only coming as far as you can comfortably come without tipping forwards, making sure that you maintain an upright stance. Bend the arms, bring those goddess arms into position. Feel the strength that you are creating in this divine feminine pose. Notice the energy as it's building in the pelvis, that Shakti energy. You can feel it all moving through the root chakra, the sacral chakra. Draw the neck, the pelvic floor muscles up to support you in this pose. This is an intense pose and it will challenge you, but respond to the challenge, answer the call of the challenge with the breath, by using the breath to help you. Notice how powerful the tool of the breath is. 3 more breaths here. Release and come up. Take those arms down. Move one of your blocks out to the side, and you may wish to place a block between the legs. As we're now going to come down into Malasana, yogic squat. So, dependent upon how stable and balanced you feel, you can either squat straight down into Malasana, or alternatively, you can bring the hands to the ground. First of all, take the hip bottom to the block for additional support if you feel that you would need it, and then take the elbows on the insides of the knees and push the hands together and lift the heart towards the hands. You're going to be holding Malasana for a good 10 deep inhalations, so I would strongly recommend that you use the block and make this pose slightly more restorative. Let's breathe into that opening. Breathe into those hips. It doesn't take a lot to imagine why all the many wonderful strengthening, opening qualities of this pose will aid you as you birth your child into the world. Relax into the opening in the hips. Feel the heart's connection. Feel the strength and stability through the base of the body. Feel the freedom that this gives to the belly. Two more breaths here. Bring the hands to the ground, lift the bottom, remove the block, and then gently and carefully bring yourself into a seated position on the mat. Now, if you can grab hold of a bolster or blanket, I would recommend that you do so. We're going to come into a wide seated forward fold. So open the legs as wide as feels comfortable for you. Don't overstrain, don't push yourself too far. And then take the bolster and place it between the legs. And then take the 2 blocks and lay them on top of the bolster. And we're going to come onto the forearms here, feet flexed and activated, muscles of the legs working for you, and then just gently lean forward into the pose, breathing into the release that you should be experiencing in the lower back. And as you take this moment of deep relaxation, is there anything that you would like to communicate to your baby right now? Would you like to send the sensation of relaxation directly to your baby? Or is there perhaps some other message that you would like to share? In this moment of leaning forwards and turning inwards, this is your opportunity completely to quietly commune with your baby, and it will hear you. Stay in that posture for as long as feels comfortable. As you come out of the posture, come slowly and with care and with ease. Do not rush. Move the blocks over to the side. Take the bolster out of the way. You may want to bend your knees before you try and draw your legs together. Once your legs are together, you can gently rock them from side to side. And that brings this short pregnancy sequence to a finish. Namaste.